Guys, Ben here from Witterings Fitness. Today we are going to do the hip hinge mobility test. So this is an assessment of our hamstring and glute flexibility and our ability to hinge at the hip. This is a really important movement to be able to do correctly for various things. One, most importantly, is picking things up. But it could be just a flexibility assessment for when you're running. If you're really stiff here, then it's going to put a lot of pressure in your lower back. So when you go to pick something up, if you cannot hinge correctly at the hip, most likely you're going to try and round in the spine, and we all know that that is not good for your back. So the correct hip hinge movement we're looking for, if we apply it to picking something up, is here and then straight up. And you can see that my lower back does not change at all. I have a nice arch in my lower back the whole way through that, and I maintain the arch. Okay, so the first test that you can do is this dowel test. So if you don't have a wooden dowel, you can just use a broom handle or whatever. You're going to put one hand in your lower back, like so, and we're going to have 3 points of contact. So head, upper back, and the crack. No other way to say it, really. Head, back, and crack. And if you lose one of these points of contact, then we know that something has moved in the spine. So you see if my middle one comes back, I'm overextended. If my lower one comes off, I've rounded my lower back. And if my head comes off, it probably means that I'm too far forward in my thoracic spine. So I know my thoracic spine needs some attention. So to do this movement correctly, slight bend of the knees, hinging at the hips. So I'm just thinking about my hips going back, and I'm just maintaining those 3 points of contact till I get to about, what's that, 45, a bit further than 45 degrees, or almost 90 degrees. That's a really good range of motion. If you only get to here and you're still maintaining 3 points, it's good, but you need to work on this flexibility. So again, we've got the application of that is picking things up. We've got the kettlebell here. If I'm going to do a kettlebell deadlift, I'm going to sit down into it, and then I'm going to push my knees back first so that I engage my hamstrings, get my lats involved. I'm going to push my shoulders into my pockets, and then no change in my lower back. And then as I lower under control, there's still no change in my lower back. Most of the pressure is in my hamstrings here, touch, and then come back up. And I'm using the tension in my hamstrings and glutes. It's nothing in the lower back. If you feel your lower back when you do a deadlift, there's something going wrong. Okay, and then I'll just show you what it looks like on the deadlift. If you need more instructions on how to do a deadlift, then we've got a separate video for that, so you can check that out on the YouTube channel. So on the deadlift, brace, come down, grab the bar, shoulders in the pockets, knees go back, engage and stand. And that is the hip hinge mobility test. That's why we need it, to pick things up safely, but also if you're doing running, other movements which require you to bend down, if you don't have that flexibility in your hamstrings, you're going to have issues. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit.